Daybreak, a map that I really, really like for Terran. We've got Sheth in the bottom left-hand corner, our purple Zerg. Across the way, over yonder, in the top right-hand corner, we have SlayerS.Ryung, our red Terran now.
Now, okay, I want to hear why you like this map for Daybreak. And I'm not saying that that's bad or anything like that. This is the map, though, that I hear the most things from every race complaining about other races, which tells me that it's a pretty balanced map. Yeah. Because if everyone is complaining about another race on this map, then it's pretty good.
Yeah. I think it's just any map where you have like a pretty straightforward progression of expansions. So taking your natural, and then there's that choke outside the natural right there where you can kind of hold pretty well, and then you can also hold your third relatively well once you get a PF there and maybe a bunker and a few buildings to wall off. It's just anytime you have a natural progression of expansions that are relatively close enough that you can defend them pretty easily, it's nice. And well, you would prefer to be expanding towards the Zerg, actually. That's
and a map like Zelnaga, you can't do that until you decide to take the super low resource expansion. And that's only like... The reason I like this map is because I love games that go from mid-game aggression into natural long macro games. Like, I don't like forced long macro games. A map like Terminus is boring to me because you know, especially in the earlier iterations of it, it's gonna be 3 base versus 3 base, and you just kind of sat there and patiently waited for them to put up their 3 bases. And then it was long and tedious, and if it was TBT, you had big positioning battles in the middle. I just didn't care for it all that much. This map, though, you have Zergs can pretty easily take a third base. There's you know, a lot of room to go ahead and defend. They can also deny third bases pretty well with that, but yet, so you tend to have like very, you know, in the case of a TVZ, 2 base on 3 base, and then you kind of just slowly attack each other until you move into a natural long macro game that just kind of naturally occurs. Yeah. That's exciting to me.
Yeah, I agree. No doubt about it. Terminus was definitely not one of the more exciting maps.
No, not at all.
Kind of fun to play at times, but also kind of long and just drawn out at times as well.
And if you guys don't know, we are actually going to be introducing some maps. As we had a map maker tournament, the results of which were released. 5 of the maps are going to be included in a map that was actually played today. In a tournament that was played today, actually a $1,000 open tournament, anyone can join, and we're going to actually study the analytics of the matchups and the high-level players and what if there were any imbalances, and we're going to actually take 2 of those maps and incorporate them into our tournament play. We're going to publicize them well in advance of us ever using them in tournament play, so people have a chance to work on them, but we're kind of excited about the possibility of actually introducing some maps of our own.
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, it keeps the gameplay diverse. The game is ever-changing, and having ever-changing maps is awesome too, although it does kind of deviate from really getting a standardized set of maps that are very balanced, and I mean, anytime you throw new maps into the pool, you're adding so many variables.
Okay, well, we essentially run, our kind of key is to run best of 9s, and that's basically what we do. You know, we run best of 9s in our special events, whether it's Team Arena or it's Fight Club. So if you have 9 maps, you want the ability for not every map to be used. So, I mean, if you had to rack your brain and really come up with 10 maps that are perfectly balanced, it's hard to do. It's tough. You know? Yeah, so maybe we'll find a couple gems out there from the community.
So that would be nice.
All right, well, taking stock of the game, looks like Ryung going right into double gas again after his quick gasless FE, actually putting his factory down at the front this time, and a little more conventional. I don't even want to call it conventional. This is 1 Rax gasless FE into expansion into reactored Hellions after that, not going after the double factory that we saw last time quite yet. Maybe he just wanted to pump out a few Marines first, and he's going to go into another factory. Okay, there it is. So there's factory number 2.
Word. Factory number 2 is up. Maybe double reactor this time. I don't think so, though. The Blue Flame Hellion worked out for him the last time.
Yeah, I would think he's got to continue
very well. Yeah, he should continue with that. I think the reactor Hellion, the double reactor Hellion opener is just way too... Oh, and I think we're going to have that Roach push.
Yeah, a lot of Roaches coming. Oh, 6 of them. I mean, he would, if he was only... I don't even want to say if he was for defense, but he would have stopped at the first 4 if he was just
and he denied all potential scouting, so...
Oh, boy.
Ryung's not going to know that this is coming.
Oh, and there's a starport coming up as well, so we may be moving into drop play here in a bit. Now a Banshee, if you just like snap decision through.
It is double reactor Hellion again.
Oh god. This could actually be really, really tough for him then, because there's a lot of roaches that are about to make their way out.
There certainly are.
Oh boy.
And he's following that up with a crap ton of speedlings.
If there's anything that could be considered the early game hard counter to Hellions, it's these guys.
Roaches would be it.
Yep. All right, here we go.
At the very least, he's going to force a ton of repair time, and
yes,
he's going to pick off SCVs. I mean, this is
going
to be
safely
devastating.
Third and
yeah, he's teching to a medevac, so, you know, and now producing those Marines. A Viking cancels the medevac, makes a Viking immediately. He knows he just needs to get anything that can output damage, any kind of firepower he can get right now. Trying to greet him out at the choke, but... oh god, Ryung is in a lot of trouble here. He is going to lose so many SCVs. I hope Sheth starts to target those. Lings coming in from both sides here. Ryung with some great micro, though. Does take out a majority of those Lings. The bunker's going to go down.
Oh my god, I think Sheth may have just won the game.
He may have, indeed.
Okay, so those Hellions are going to make their way back now. The second bunker has no chance of getting up. It will not be a finish.
No, there's no way for him to get a Marauder out either.
And now the SCVs are being pulled at the front. How many workers killed? Already 15, and that number is increasing. These roaches have not taken a huge amount of damage. This orbital command needs to be lifted. Take a look at the workers tab. 41 workers to 24, and Sheth is taking his third.
Oh my goodness. Sheth might have just done it. Clenched the 5-2 over SlayerS.Ryung.
Oh my god.
I think he has. All Ryung can do is produce Hellions right now. He will clean up these roaches, but... and he actually might get this orbital.
If he actually gets the orbital, I'm going to cry.
He might get the orbital. Okay.
Okay, down to 200 points of health. But still, did a lot of damage. Going to force a lot of repair time. Needs to call down something. That's... I actually can't believe that.
Well, Ryung did hold on.
He does have quite a few workers.
He does have quite a few Hellions out on the field right now. He's getting that medevac, so he's going to have the option for a drop.
Yes.
He could try and catch up if he gets like the picture perfect drop off and kills.
That's true.
You know,
he would need to kill
20 drones. 30
at least.
Drones.
He needs to kill 20 drones right now at a minimum. Okay, his orbital command is now repaired back up. His infrastructure's not great because he's still working off
I'm surprised he actually hasn't put a tech lab on that Rax yet.
Yeah.
Another roach follow-up
or even just
devastating.
Flipping the reactor onto the barracks so we can actually get some Marines out there as well. But 10 more drones coming up for Sheth as he's got plenty enough to go ahead and defend against that little group of Hellions.
Do we have a roach follow-up here, or is that just purely speedlings?
He produced 4 or 5 roaches.
Into the natural, though, Sheth going in with some additional speedlings. Oh, man, there's no bunker there?
Spire coming up. Oh, boy. 4 mutas in the air are so devastating.
No Marines.
Yep.
And he has no capability to
no engineering bay, no really...
Yeah, that mutatech switch is going to be the nail in the coffin.
Wow. All right. I'm going to go ahead and say that, and again, I want to reiterate, this is, again, a game that was won purely on decision-making.
Yeah, for sure.
Unbelievable. I hate to be the guy who calls the game way too early, as I'm not trying to do that, guys, but Sheth has just taken down one of the best Terran players. Not just one of the best Terran players, but one of the best players in the world.
Yeah. And making it look easy.
We'll see if these Hellions can get Ryung back into this. Those drones have to watch out. Can't line themselves up like that.
Good surround, though, and they will all get taken out. A few drones do go down there, but... certainly
not
nothing.
Enough. 22-7.
Nothing to make up for the discrepancy in workers. A lot more Hellions working their way over to the third. There are 3 roaches there.
3 roaches turn away a pack of 10 Hellions. So
it's funny how that works.
Yeah. But you know, like 8 damage at a time against armored opponents. Anyway.
Yeah.
Looks like an armory is coming up. So.
Is he getting a Banshee?
This is interesting.
That's not what you want right now.
Yeah, Banshee is coming up. Especially no cloak, and there's 6 Mutalisks in the air at the moment. Has he actually seen Spire? Oh my... Oh, where is the Spire? There it is. No, he's not seen it yet. And now the Queens and the Roaches are going to come back and start pushing those units away one more time. Roaches will recover a little bit of health as they sit back at home, and now there's additional reinforcements. So Sheth is well defended against those, and bam!
He might see the mutas here.
Even if he does, no anti-air coming up.
Yeah, he has absolutely none.
None. There's a Thor! Hooray!
Huzzah.
Go Thor.
Huzzah.
And...
we have a Thor in production.
Yes. He has some anti-air.
Even that single Thor could just get magic boxed as soon as it comes out. Another drop coming in here for Ryung, trying to be sneaky.
This one will be pretty good. There's not a lot of units in position to go ahead and defend against this, and Sheth is actually going to need to pull away. And we'll lose a few workers in the process, but of course he's a little more worried about these mutas tearing after the large string of Hellions making their way out.
Oh, and those Hellions will get cleaned up. They do take down a few drones. He's kind of equalizing it, but...
He's lost 8 Hellions to kill 13 workers.
If he can hold off these mutas, he does have the 3rd macro orbital up, but... I mean, there's no turrets in place. The Thor's not even close to out yet. He's making Vikings now. There's the one Thor. He'll get mass repaired.
Yes.
So he could actually kill quite a few.
He's just going to go after SCVs right now. Oh, the SCVs weren't repairing there for a little while. He just needs to go after the SCVs, which I think he will. The Speedlings are going to run out. He can throw a few of those away just to make sure that the Hellion presence on the field is destroyed. We have a couple of Vikings out as well, and so the mutas...
Thor is being an absolute hero right now.
Got himself a few kills there.
Yeah. So he is going to hold on here, but he's losing so many SCVs. Yeah.
SCVs killed, now up to 40. That number actually continuing to increase as these Speedlings get in here. The Thor's pretty powerful, but not against... I mean, this mass Speedling Muta is actually a pretty good unit composition now, because the Hellions are going to go down because eventually the Mutas will go out, take out the first round of Hellions, then run over the Speedlings after that, clean up the Thors.
Yeah.
But
and still no blue flame.
Right. Bye-bye, Viking.
Just one
low Muta going after it. There it is. Alright, and that's a pretty big pack of Mutas that are going to make their way in. We did have an engineering bay put up as there's a missile turret that's being thrown in now. And
Banshee's going to go down as well.
Sheth just expanding all over the place.
He's up by 30 expensive units getting picked off for Ryung all over the map here. Can't afford to be losing those Vikings right now.
And he is actually going to have to run away with the Mutas for the moment. How many Hellions are out on the field? Just 5. You could actually just swarm Speedlings right now. Roaches are actually coming up. Thors are going to be pretty effective against Roaches, but...
they do all right.
But I was going to say in mass, and the numbers that Sheth's producing, he won't have time to repair or anything
like that. They do all right against Roaches. I think... I'm not sure if they probably do trade cost efficiently with Roaches.
Yeah. Well, I mean, especially if you have, one Thor and about 3 Roaches or something like that, it'll dispatch of it in no time at all, so. But with the amount that, look at, he's producing like 1 million. And his Ventral Sacs coming up, which is kind of interesting.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's a great way to deal with mech. Mech is very immobile, Thors are super slow.
Yeah.
And now that his Thors are down at the 3rd, the main is wide open to Mutalisk harass. Sheth working his way in there, taking out even more SCVs. He's just going to suicide these Mutas probably just to kill more SCVs.
Yeah, he doesn't
even care at this point.
He had a lot of Mutas there that just went
but
down.
His workers killed is off the charts.
Up to 50 now, and we're looking at 46 workers versus 66, but he did throw away a lot of units there. We'll see if that provides Ryung an opportunity. Oh, God, and he scans and sees the large contingent of Roaches just underneath this next expansion. He's got to be thinking himself. He's already moving to his 5th.
Tanks. He needs tanks.
He's just not.
Yeah. He has no tanks. He has 1 tank, I think.
Yeah, plus 2 weapons on the way for him for his mech.
It looks like Sheth is going to the 3rd. That is the ants go marching 1 by 1, but there's no real answer here from Ryung. He's just setting up now. Tanks and Thors in position.
Yep, Thors are going to go down. 1 Thor, he bites the dust. The Mules are making their way in, trying to repair. The Roaches... Actually, you would have thought they would have gone after siege tanks first to eliminate some of the splash fire, so they could have gone up there a little bit more cost-effectively.
He will hold on, but loses a majority of his mech army. And what's really important there, well, Ryung has managed to stay in this game. I know we called it a little bit early. He certainly managed to stay alive.
And he is still down by 60 supply.
Yes, he is. He is. He's behind tremendously, but... He has made a game of it.
Definitely.
He's still continuing to add mech. If he can actually get his mech ball going and get up to, something over 100 supply, I just don't think it's going to happen. He does have additional tanks coming in here, though. Might be able to... I don't think he's going to be able to hold on to the 3rd here. No. Losing additional SCVs, and this is just a series of unfortunate events for Ryung.
Looks like... Sheth is just going to go ahead and throw his weight against the SCVs first, so no repair can get done, and he'll flank at the same time. He's fine with throwing away the initial group of Roaches, though, forcing the Siege Tanks to fire upon themselves. Siege Tanks did take quite a bit of damage.
So many SCVs have died. It is ridiculous. Ryung is hardly mining at this point.
Yes. He's down to 41 workers now.
What's his income at?
And 68 workers have been killed. Economy was almost nothing. It'll spike here in just a second once he gets all these down on the ground, though. Still not near the level of Sheth.
Well, Ryung is starting to... Oh, and additional SCV's going to get killed here. You might have to lift that orbital once again. He's got to get tanks in position to hold this spot.
And at the same time, it looks like a few Vikings made their way up to the top left-hand corner, landed and tried to do some damage to this hatchery down here.
There we go. Ryung has finally secured his position at the third. Still not mining, though, losing a lot of precious mining time here.
Yes.
Really, really, really needs to start mining off that third.
Oh, burrow is finished, so those units get underground, but unfortunately one is still on top. And it looks like Sheth is just going to continue to just outright mass units.
Doesn't look like there's any units in position to deal with this run-by from Sheth. Gonna kill even more SCVs. Ryung without walling at the natural. That wall was certainly not complete. It looks less than roach-proof.
Yes, it is indeed. So these roaches are going to pick off a couple of structures here tonight, mining once again. Total of 73 workers now killed. Sheth just continuing to throw his weight against his opponent.
Sheth is just picking him apart.
Yeah, I mean, and Sheth Ryung is actually being very cost-effective too.
Unburrowing the roaches in the middle of the SCV line, just taking heavy fire from the siege tanks, blasting even more.
76 workers killed. This is going to continue to increase. But yeah, I mean, Sheth's now got infestors thrown in there. Any drops going on? No, doesn't look like it. So more units coming out. Sheth is at 160 supply. And Hellions are going to make their way over to the top left-hand corner. There's a queen there, but nothing else for ground defense, so those Hellions could do a little bit of damage.
If Ryung can max out on mech with +3 weapons, though,
yeah,
Sheth could find himself in a little bit of trouble.
Yes.
I mean, he needs to start worrying at this point.
Yes.
And he's doing a lot of damage with these blue flame harass here. Certainly nothing along the lines of what Sheth has done to him, but... You know, he's starting to max out on... Oh, he needs to be careful here.
The way Sheth is throwing units into against Ryung just seems a little bit inefficient. It was okay at first.
At first, it was fine.
Yeah. Oh, big Overlord drop.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt. That's really gonna throw a wrench in the machinery for Ryung. Those roaches are gonna be able to dispatch these Hellions.
Yeah, the Hellions have to come in to buy time, but of course
here come the siege tanks.
Yeah.
Another Hellion drop gonna head out for some additional harass opportunities here. These roaches just being so irritating. Might actually get the armory, +3 weapons on the way. That really hurts for Ryung. He needed that so bad.
Yeah, certainly.
Definitely not going to be able to get that.
No. And looks like these roaches are finally going to get cleaned up. What's the next round of units? There they are. So he's just trying to pull his opponent apart, but there's another Hellion drop making its way in. And only infestors and a queen to defend against this.
Doing some good damage.
There's the roaches finally. So 95 workers killed to 39. This has been an economic struggle the whole way.
Broodlords are going to be... I foresee a problem in the future. Broodlords are going to be very difficult for Ryung to deal with.
Not the units you're looking for.
Yeah.
This Thor has got to back up. The tanks are actually unsieged. This would be prime opportunity for a huge roach push, but Hellion gets out there and all the tanks go, nope, we're staying back at home for a little while.
Ryung is going to have his work cut out for him. He has managed to claw his way back into this game, though, which is ridiculous.
He's made a game of this. Yeah.
Considering how far behind he was and when we called the game. I mean,
yeah.
The fact that he's still in this and actually legit has a chance at this point is mind-boggling. He has a lot of siege tanks right now.
Yeah, his army is very well developed.
Yeah,
give him
he needs to start adding more Vikings, though. That's the key.
Oh, these roaches are going to take a huge hit. Oh, but he actually catches the siege tanks that were sitting out in the open. He's picked off 4 tanks so far at the loss of about 8 roaches. And looks like he's just waiting for his prime opportunity. There's a lot of infestors that are very high on energy. The Broodlords are morphing.
Yeah, this is I don't know if Ryung can deal with this.
How many Vikings on the field? Just 3 at the moment. Just 2 being produced at a time, though.
He knows it's coming.
Yeah,
Ryung knows it's coming.
It's all Thor Viking is all he's producing now.
Yep. Some ghosts would be quite nice.
Yes. I've seen some great snipe control lately.
Really help out in this situation. Oh, wow. What great anticipation from Ryung moving that army to the bottom right. He didn't even know that was there.
Yeah.
And he might... Yeah, he's going to catch him.
Yes. And the
very well
have to move away, but they're not going to.
Later, guys.
Yep. Kills a couple of Hellions. Oh, wow. Killed 1 Hellion. At the loss of 9 roaches there, I believe.
Oh, dear God.
There we have the Broodlords. There's some Corruptors in the air as well, and that's enough Corruptors to drive away any Vikings whatsoever. Looks like a roach run-by, or maybe just a flank. Ooh, he's got to watch out, though. That's a lot of splash damage being taken there.
Yeah, it certainly is. Where is he going with all of those Broodlords? Heading over to the
6 base.
6 o'clock.
Yeah, he's got 6 bases on the map now, which is pretty darn good. He's going to come back and kill more workers. That's Barry to pass the 100 mark. Hooray!
Oh, he could go. Oh, no.
all sad stuff.
I'm sure he will at some point. And here comes the Armada.
And there, the Corruptors
be careful with those Vikings. That's quite a few Corruptors.
Yep.
And he knows there's really no way for him to deal with that.
Yep, that Planetary Fortress is going to fall here in just a second. Those are +1 weapons. Broodlords at the moment, so the Broodling Strike is pretty powerful. +2 on the way.
Doing a great job with the Vikings, though. Using the Thors to work on the Corruptors, and gonna start. I don't know though. This is not looking good for him.
Throw down a fungal, and looks like one more did go down there
are
on
starting
top
to
of
go
the Vikings.
Down, but he's losing so much on the ground.
And the Thor is dead. Now there's just one Viking, and that's all the anti-air that's left.
And
there it is! GG! And Sheth has won the match. That's the most bad manner you're ever going to see Sheth throwing out the G.
Just throwing the G.
Just throwing the G. Game. Boof.
Bam.
Well done, Sheth, collecting the $500 prize.